Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, invited guests, teachers, and all other participants. It's a moment of extreme pleasure to welcome you all to attend the National Conference on Development in Engineering Education and Practices, that is DEEP 2022, in Elite College of Engineering. On behalf of the college, we are delighted and honored to host this national conference in our college premises. In the last couple of decades, the field of engineering and technology has been enriched with enormous advancements. An immense upgradation has been observed in the fundamentals of the applications worldwide. In accordance with the engineering education and technical training, curriculum has been evolved through continuous and progressive modifications. In this present scenario, Government of India has introduced new education policy in the year of 2020, emphasizing in application-oriented skills and innovative approaches. The primary objective of this conference is creation and dissemination of advanced level knowledge relevant to the recent trends in engineering, education, and practices with reference to nation building. Benefits of this national conference are acquiring knowledge on various domains relevant to engineering, education, and practices, and opportunities of interaction with eminent speakers and delegates. It is my extreme pleasure to extend a hearty welcome to this national conference, the most cherished one after a long devastating effect of pandemic environment and situation caused by novel coronavirus 19. I'd like to convey my regards and sincere thanks to respected delegates and all the people joining us in this platform. I would like to express my respect and gratitude to our honorable directors, principal, and all other stakeholders who have actively supported us to make this event a reality. Now we will have the auspicious lamp lighting ceremony for formal inauguration of this national conference. I would like to request our web host, Professor Tathagato Roy Choudhury, to start the session. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Have our traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony to inaugurate the program. I would like to invite the chief patrons, Dr. Bazalul Haq Sir, Director, Academics and HR ECE, Mr. Shajal Ghosh Sir, Director, Operations ECE, Patron, Professor Dr. Sudeep Bashak Sir, Principal of ECE, Chairperson, Professor Dr. K Sharma, HOD of Mechanical Engineering Department, ECE, Convener, Professor Mahua Datta, HOD of Science and Humanities, ECE, Organizing Secretary, Dr. Shantanu Datta, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering Department, ECE, Joint Organizing Secretary, Dr. Abhijit Chakrabarti, Associate Professor of Electrical Engineering Department, ECE, and all the committee members. holy ritual to worship or pray to the Almighty before commencing any auspicious occasion. Goddess Saraswati is an embodiment of wisdom, knowledge and learning. Let us seek her blessings in all spheres of life. So please welcome our first performer for presentation of Saraswati Vandana. Moving to the next segment of today's program, opening of conference proceedings. It is going to be launched and inaugurated by Honorable Director Sirs, Principal Sir, Chairperson, Convener, Organizing Secretary, Joint Organizing Secretary. I would like to request Sir, Madam to come forward for the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like to invite Professor Mohaji Datta, HOD of Science and Humanities Department, as well as the convener of this conference, to present her introductory speech. Over to you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepasri ma'am. Am I visible and audible?
Yes, perfectly.
So good morning to the dignitaries, eminent delegates, respected colleagues and beloved students. Hope you are all safe and in sound health in this post-pandemic situation. Being the convener, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this national conference, Development in Engineering Education and Practices, organized by Elitte College of Engineering. I'm really honored and feel privileged to welcome our chief guest, Professor Dr. Vishwajit Khosh, Vice Chancellor, New India University. Our guest of honor, Professor Dr. Subhashish Banerjee, ex-principal, Elitte College of Engineering. Our guest of eminence, Professor Dr. K Sharma, former Dean at Amos University. Professor A. Karmakar, Principal, Technic Polytechnic Institute, as one of the honorable members of our judges panel and our eminent keynote speakers. So, in the next couple of minutes of my welcome speech, I'll be walking you through what the conference is about. I'll introduce you to the speakers and eminent delegates who are here from all over the country to share their knowledge and enhance our mental horizon. Let's first speak of the theme of this conference, that is development in engineering education and practices. You must be aware that there is an immense changes happened in the field of engineering and technology in the last couple of years. Now, the question is whether the engineering education and technical training curriculum in India have gone through the same progressive changes to keep in pace with the global changing scenario. Our conference has been designed to address this issue, which will be described by the deliberate illustrations in our first technical session conducted by our honorable keynote speaker, Professor S.N. Basu. In his presentation on the topic, Technical Education in India, Present Status and Quality Assurance. There are other interesting presentations on the same area by the different contributory authors in this session that will definitely captivate your attention. Another segment of the theme, that is development in engineering practices, that will be explored on the second day in the technical session 2 on the area of civil engineering with the topic soft ground improvement by granular reinforcement for transport infrastructure by the honorable keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Sudeep Basak. There are other contributory presentations as well by the eminent authors who will be sharing their thoughts, knowledge, and opinions with the rest of us. Going to technical session 3, that is on the sub-theme of the emerging trends in electrical engineering, which will begin just after the recess with the presentation by our honorable keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Ambarnath Banerjee, on the topic, emerging trend in power generation and utilization. Thereafter, we'll have the opportunity to listen some other presentations by different contributory authors as well. The last day of the conference will begin with technical session 4 with presentation on the topic, joining of materials for consolidated products by our honorable keynote speaker, Professor Dr. P.K. Patwari, followed by other contributory presentations in the area of mechanical engineering. Technical session 5, that will begin shortly after the lunch break with keynote paper presentation in the area of computer science and engineering by Professor Agnimitra Biswas on the topic, application of machine learning in engineering domain for Industry 4.0. There are contributory papers that will be presented likewise. Then a very interesting event that we have kept separate for the valedictory session, which will be conducted as the concluding session in the third day of our 3-day conference. This is nothing but giving the best paper awards on the contributory papers in each area of engineering and technology that we have included in this conference. Apart from the speech of our organizing secretary, Dr. Shantanu Datta, and our joint organizing secretary, Dr. Abhijit Chakraborty, we will have the opportunity to listen a corporate presentation too in this valedictory session. This is even not the end, dear listeners. To avoid monotony and to add some spark in the conference, we have organized a cultural program that is Elite Moments on the second day from 6 p.m. onwards, only to give you a glimpse of India's rich culture and heritage. Designed and choreographed by Gitolekha Sarkar with Professor Shravanti Chakraborty as joint coordinator. So, here I conclude my speech by encouraging the audience to participate with an increasing number in all the activities and discussions through these digital platforms for the next 3 days. I wish everyone a successful, safe, and fruitful conference.
Thank you, Madam, for such a warm welcome speech. I would like to request our Honorable Convener, Madam, to carry on the event henceforth. Over to you, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepasri ma'am. Dear listeners, before proceeding further, I would like to take you to a virtual trip to our campus of Elite College of Engineering, situated at SODEPUR, Kolkata. Over to Professor Tathagato Rai Chaudhuri.
morning, everyone. Myself, I am the principal of this Elite College of Engineering, Dr. Sudip Basa. And let me introduce about our college and the technical education scenario. in our country, our state, and in our city. So, last few decades, there has been a significant growth in higher education sector in India. And more specifically, the growth has been initiated in the technical education scenario, that is, in the education to train the students in engineering and technology. So, and also, there have been a significant privatization of education, especially in the field of engineering and technology. Correct? So, our college, that is Elitte College of Engineering, have been dedicated to impart technical education to the young people of our state and of our city of Kolkata significantly. So, we offer Bachelor of Technology courses in various engineering disciplines, and our college has been affiliated, that means these courses, these bachelor courses have been affiliated to the renowned Maulana Abdul Kalam University of Technology in Kolkata. So, the streams that we offer in our courses are Computer Science and Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, Electrical Engineering, and Civil Engineering. So, these are the 4 branches of engineering which have been offered to the students in their 4 years degree curriculum. So, we take admission for 4 years course from West Bengal Joint Entrance Examinations as well as lateral entry examinations from the students who have passed diploma in these branches of engineering as per eligibility criteria. These courses are not only affiliated to the Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad University of Technology, but also have been recognized by the All India Council for Technical Education, that is AICTE. So, we have well-developed laboratories with modern equipment so that the students can learn the advanced knowledge in their fields of study, and also we have a well-developed library where the students can borrow and read the books in their curriculum. Our faculty members, headed by their head of the departments, are highly educated and motivated to impart education in their learning fields significantly. All our head of the departments are highly educated with significant experience and knowledge with PhD degrees. And also, all our faculty members are highly educated and they are specially trained to impart advanced knowledge in the engineering curriculum. We provide regular training of the teachers for various faculty development programs, and also we provide the students in various industrial trainings by our well-established training and placement cell. So we provide trainings to the students in reputed and relevant training sectors, industrial sectors, so that they can have knowledge, up-to-date knowledge in their relevant fields of study. Also, we have a very good placement record, and this year also, every year, including this year, we have placed our students in reputed industries all over India. So, I welcome you all to take admission in our college, and last but not the least, we kept our admission fees as low as possible so that there shall be no financial burden to the students and to their supporting families. We have a wonderful campus with greeneries where the students can enjoy their learning as well as development of their other skills. We also arrange various skill development programs, for example, recitation, debates, extempore, etc., so that the overall growth of the students can be important. So we all welcome the students and their parents to visit our college. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Rai Chaudhuri, for taking us to a wonderful video journey of our college campus. I think the listeners, they have also enjoyed it a lot. This is now time to listen to someone who has always led from the front, a true karma yogi who has always strived to extend education to the masses. Yes, I'm talking about our Honorable Director, Sir, Dr. Bajlul Haq. Before we have the pleasure of listening to the welcome speech of the Honorable Director, Sir, I would like to say a few words about this enormous personality. After completing his schooling from Durgapur, Dr. Bajlul Haq has had his graduation and post-graduation in the fields of electrical and computer science engineering from Jalpaiguri Government Engineering College and Rajasthan University respectively. He started his professional journey with Partek Computer Limited and then HCL Infosystem, then went on working with IBM Global. However, in order to turn his dream into a reality of providing quality education to the masses, he ventured into education entrepreneurship in the year 2000, then went on establishing a number of colleges under Pinnacle Education Trust. Apart from ECE and DIEM, he also founded Lutfa Foundation and established a polytechnic and ITI at Durgapur, West Bengal. So let us have the pleasure of listening to the welcome speech of the Honorable Director, Sir.
Good afternoon to all. It's great pleasure to learn that after a strenuous pandemic, our deep development in engineering education practice 2022 is being organized. I express my heartfelt congratulations to the entire organizing committee for arranging such an event in the shortest possible time frame after the missed earlier due to the pandemic. While the fear of ongoing pandemic is still looming, but the daunting task of organizing such an event shows our undeterred determination of all in organizing team and all other of our elite members. In the next 3 days, we will be lucky enough to see all of our dignitaries will share their views of their long experience in the specialized areas, and I congratulate to all the participants for taking part in this event for the best interest of the students in the societies. I do hope that with the active participation shall make the event a grand success like previous year and will set a benchmark for the future. Now, if we talk about the development in engineering education, it has always been in the growing trend of technology. There is a wide range of possibilities and opportunities in the engineering field. Engineering education solves all problems irrespective of any situations. It helps in developing innovations, creativity, knowledge in shaping the future of individual. Thus, we can say development in engineering means humanitarian engineering, engineering for change, and engineering for impact. Development in engineering, like always, has been research and practice that combines the principle of economics, entrepreneurship, design, business, natural resources, and social science to create the development. Hence, the goal of engineering education is to build tomorrow's enterprise leaders. It's very important to look at the qualities that you wish to have in tomorrow's leaders and instill them in our engineering education today. The correct attitude as well as the aptitude, coupled with the sustainability and innovations, march in the present day engineering education. In persuasion of all the above, in development in engineering, revolves around few principles, and these principles are stability, maintainability, integrity, external implications, ethics, and good management. I believe that next few days we will be able to enrich our students and ourselves as well when all the dignitaries shall share more on this in the various fields of engineering. With this, I congratulate once again to all of you for making such event in the shortest possible time, as I already told you, even after the pandemic, and wish you good luck. Thank
you. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful welcome speech. It's a big honor for us to have our Director of Operations, Mr. Shajal Ghosh, in our schedule today. A true visionary, sir has been a constant source of motivation for all of us. Before we can have the pleasure of listening to sir, I'd like to take this opportunity to say a few words about Shajal sir. After completing his schooling from Durgapur, Mr. Shajal Ghosh did his graduation in science from the prestigious Scottish Church College. After completing his course, he started his working career with Jindal Photo Film Limited. Subsequently, he worked for Paras Rampuria Synthetic Limited and Reliance India Private Limited. He left the job at Reliance India Private Limited as a marketing manager to start his journey as an entrepreneur in the education domain. We would really be honored to listen from our respected director, sir.
I warmly welcome everyone, especially principal sir, event managers, our honorable guests, faculties, students. Finally, the auspicious day has come, put an end to our impatient anticipation and tireless preparation of this event, DEEP 2022. With great pleasure and satisfaction, I stand with this. Indeed, this national conference, DEEP 2022, is the culmination of the college academic performance as well as the recognition of the college and the college achievements. It is also time for teamwork and being proud that the college stands on beliefs and values. I request the principal sir encourage the student as well as the faculties to participate in such events, in various events also, and see their blossoms into an individual and several talents. Wish you all the best, all the success in this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening words. A leader is one who lights the path to the impossible and takes those who follow to great heights. It's not possible to proceed to the event without calling upon our wings of flight, our pillar of strength, and our constant source of motivation. Yes, you are right. I'm talking of none other than our principal sir, Professor Dr. Sudeep Basak. Professor Dr. Sudeep Basak is a civil engineering professional with vast academic experience at responsible senior positions in India and abroad. He published more than 125 technical papers in reputed journals and conferences, and is recipient of several research awards at national and international levels. He is an active editor and reviewer of numerous top-class international journals. He has supervised more than 10 research students at postgraduate and PhD levels and executed sponsored research projects in different universities. He has undertaken several academic visits in many countries, including USA, UK, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, China, etc. It's a great honor to welcome Dr. Basak on the stage for the opening and welcoming remarks.
Good morning, everyone. As the head of this institution, I heartily welcome all our participants to this Elite College of Engineering, where excellence is nurtured and celebrated to create positive impact for a better society. Passionate students, staff and alumni, industry and community partners, together with all our well-wishers and supporters, have combined to place the college in a strong footing to provide a sustainable service to our society, country and engineering fraternity as a whole. We feel delighted and privileged in organizing the National Conference on Development in Engineering, Education and Practices, in short, DEEP 2022, during April 6 to 8. We feel honored to have this prestigious event organized by our college. In the last couple of decades, the field of engineering and technology has undergone significant advancement. Commencing from the sustainable civil infrastructure development, major manufacturing industries, robotics and artificial intelligence, to electrical and electrical technologies, and modern computerization and computational techniques, an immense upgradation and modernization has been observed in majority of the countries around the globe, including India. Accordingly, the engineering education and technical education curriculum have undergone significant progressive modification as well, with emphasis on basic conception to recent developments. Further improvement in the technical education scenario has been improved in India by the introduction of new education policy by Government of India in the year of 2022, which emphasized in developing the application-oriented skills and innovative approaches. This conference focuses on the development in engineering educational practices with particular reference to the Indian condition. The topic has been designed to address the diversified issues while highlighting some contemporary research done towards the growth and sustainable development of different branches of engineering and technical education. The national conference will be graced by the presence of leading national level experts who will be sharing their knowledge on diversified ranges of topics. There will be a significant number of interesting contributory articles to be presented by the authors in various fields of technical education and practice. I sincerely hope that the knowledge and competence of all the participants will be immensely enhanced and upgraded by these technical deliberations. I acknowledge the sincere contributions made by the eminent keynote speakers and authors of contributory articles which have brought this conference to its current form. I also recognize the cumulative and sustaining effort and hard works put in by each and every members of the organizing committee, without which this conference would never have been organized in such a successful manner. Last but not the least, I acknowledge the support received from the stakeholders, from the faculty members, staff and students of this college, whose immense contributions have brought this conference to its present form. I hope everyone will enjoy the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for making us aware of the purpose of this conference. Next, we will listen to the welcome speech by the chairperson of DEEP 2022, Professor Dr. Krishna Hajra. May I take the privilege to introduce her in front of the audience. Professor Dr. Krishna Hajra is a professor and head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering in Elitte College of Engineering. She has done her Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering from Assam Engineering College, Guwahati, under Guwahati University, Assam. She is a doctorate in engineering from Jadavpur University, Kolkata. Immediately after completing her studies, she has taken up engineering education as her profession. However, she also joined industry for better understanding of her subjects. Due to her passion in the education profession, she came back to the education industry again. She has vast experience of more than 24 years as an educator, with 5 years from practical world in industries. She has published and presented a number of papers in various national and international conferences, workshops, seminars, and journals. She has also authored a book on engineering mechanics for the undergraduate engineering students. Apart from this, she is also a reviewer of number of engineering books and papers by well-known authors in various fields of studies under mechanical engineering. I invite Dr. Hajra on this platform.
Our Honorable Director, Dr. Haq, our Honorable Director, Mr. Shajal Ghosh, our Honorable Principal, Professor Dr. Subhashish, Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Vishwajit Khosh, Guest of Honor, Professor Dr. Subhashish Banerjee, Guest of Eminence, Professor Dr. Ashini Kumar Sharma, Chief Special Guest, Professor Abhijit Karmakar, Keynote Speakers, Professor Somendranath Basu, Professor Ognimitra Vishwas, Professor Dr. Ambernath Banerjee, Professor Dr. Pramod Kumar Patwari, my colleagues and all my students. I, on behalf of the DEEP 2022 Organizing Committee, have a great pleasure welcoming all the participants to this online conference on development on engineering education and practices DEEP 2022. Elitte College of Engineering ECE, SODEPUR, Kolkata, India, on a regular basis successfully organizes conferences, seminars and workshops on a regular basis. The DEEP 2022 is again another such effort. The aim of the conference is to provide a forum for delegates from the industry and academia to exchange ideas and presenting their research works, including bringing forth the recent developments in the fields being dealt in addition. It is an ideal venue for the participants, though being held online due to the presently ongoing pandemic situations, for interaction and for them to establish the all-important contacts with each other. The opening ceremony of this conference will be held in the noon of the 6th April 2022, followed by 3-day technical paper presentation until 8th of April 2022. Every day from 12 hours to 16 hours. A total of 30 papers in the fields of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering, computer science and education have been selected for presentation during this period of 3 days. Subsequently, a proceedings of this conference containing all the 30 papers received for the conference will be published, and out of these 30 papers, 27 papers have been selected for publication in a journal. The keynote speeches will be delivered by some of the most outstanding experts in the fields of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering and computer science engineering. Besides the technical program, participants may also enjoy cultural programs being organized in the evening of 7th April 2022 from 18 hours. Finally, I would like to thank the Elitte College of Engineering ECE authorities for providing all the required infrastructure and logical supports needed for successfully organizing these conferences. I also take this opportunity to thank all my colleagues who have extended their able helping hands for organizing this conference. I wish all the participants a very successful learning and knowledge sharing through fruitful discussion. With all my best wishes and thanks again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. After this wonderful note by our respected chairperson, Deep 2022, this is now time to welcome our guest of honor. We are really privileged to have with us Dr. Subhashish Banerjee, who has kindly given his consent to be the guest of honor for this conference. Before inviting him to address the audience, I would like to take this opportunity to say a few words about Dr. Banerjee. Professor Dr. Subhashish Banerjee is a renowned academician. He graduated in electrical engineering from BE College, Shibpur, and completed Masters and PhD in electrical engineering from Jadavpur University. He has an appreciable experience in both academia and industry for a long 38 years in leading positions. Apart from being the former Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University, Principal at Elitte College of Engineering, Head of Electrical Engineering at Calcutta Institute of Engineering and Management and BITM Shantiniketan, he was also the faculty member at Jadavpur University, Kalyani Government Engineering College and West Bengal State Council. He also held senior positions in reputed industrial organizations, including McNeil Engineering Limited, Shaw Wallace, and Associated Cement Company Limited, etc. on a long-term basis. He has an appreciable achievements in terms of sponsored R&D project recipients, publications, and event organization. Dear listeners, Dr. Banerjee is already with us. Over to Dr. Banerjee.
Thank you, Madam. I think I am visible and audible both.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay. So actually, I must welcome everybody, and I am very much privileged to be present here with this sort of program of Elitte College of Engineering. This is a very interesting area, of course, this development in engineering, education and practice in 2020-22. So this is the place where I'm feeling a bit nostalgic also, because I was the first principal of this institution to start with. And at the same time, I was heading the Department of Electrical Engineering of your diploma college. Now, while going through this video, I was feeling more and more nostalgic when the whole campus was being present in front of us. I was with you only for 2 years, but still I am having some old colleagues also whose face I can see, like Muha ma'am and other things. Regarding this conference, I must say that Dr. Hawk was very much interested to pursue this thing from the very beginning. And I am very much pleased to see that you have involved your students also for this paper presentation process, which is very much helpful for them in their future studies. Now, regarding the quality of student and all that, privatization of education in our country, of course, it has to some extent diluted the quality of students. But in the long run, it does not matter actually, provided if you can groom a particular student of your particular relevant discipline to that certain standard so that they can prove themselves in their professional life, whether it is in industry or in education, and they can prove themselves that they are real wanted people for this particular sort of profession. Not only academics, at the same time, engineering education is there for industry also, because in our country, we are continuously in a process of development, especially this computerization. And after this pandemic, now we can see that we can do so many things virtually also, just like this program. We are sitting somewhere. I am actually away from Calcutta for a couple of days. I am now sitting in Mumbai, but I am attending this program sitting from my Mumbai place. So this is a sort of wonder we couldn't have achieved unless and until this pandemic situation would have come. Anyway, I always think that Elite College of Engineering is having a very good infrastructure, and now I see that whole building is complete also. In my times, it was only up to first floor and a little bit of second floor also. Now it is complete, and the total campus with greeneries and water bodies, it is looking excellent. So I am really very much, what should I say, nostalgic and pleased to see that the engineering college is going in the right direction. And our students from here, actually, when I joined this college in 2015, I used to take classes also in my electrical engineering department. My first year strength was, I do not remember exactly, it was something less than 20, maybe 18, 12, something like that. But still then, the students used to come and we used to teach them with full dedication and all that. And I must thank my colleagues also, those who have helped me in doing these things. So, and especially a leader like Professor Boschak, who is with you, and other faculty members, those who are with the organization or the institute at the moment, they must be taking the institution to the right place, and definitely it will prosper in due course. And one thing I must say, that Elite College of Engineering is having ITI sort of things, then diploma, degree. Only two things are left out. One is schooling portion, and the other is we might think of going for an university. In our time, we could think of a private university, but nowadays there are so many private universities that are coming up, and I think it will not be a bad proposal. I do not know, Dr. Hawk and Mr. Ghosh, they will be deciding on this, but we can think of in that line also. So this sort of paper presentation and conference is also going to help us, especially for accreditation process, NAC, NB and all that. So I wish all success to this institute for the future days to come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insightful and enlightening speech. And for the listeners, I must tell you that sir was our first principal. I also have worked under sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mohan.
The next distinguished to honor us with his presence is Dr. K Sharma, the guest of eminence of this conference. Dear listeners, I must say we rarely get this kind of opportunity to listen to the words of a great knowledgeable speaker like Dr. K Sharma. But before I invite Dr. Sharma to this platform, let me take the privilege to introduce him in front of the audience. Professor Dr. Ashini Kumar Sharma is a dynamic teacher, professional mentor and coach with a rich experience of 20+ years in engineering education. Professor Sharma He is a doctorate from the National Institute of Technology, Kurukshetra, and is certified for CMI Level 5 in Management and Leadership from Chartered Management Institute, UK. He has received several awards and accolades, including Best Teacher, Gwalior Gaurav, Best Dean of the Year 2019-20, Distinguished Leader in Engineering 2018, Engineering Excellence Award 2020, and won a national design contest by 3D PLM Software, Pune in Professor category. Professor Sharma has been involved with professional project evaluation at the Ministry of MSME and had several student project grants in India. With publications in international journals and conferences of repute, he delivered several keynote addresses, invited talks at international conferences, seminars, and workshops. He has been associated with national champions of different national champions like EFFI Cycle, Suprasi India, and he's also worked as the faculty advisor and judge in ESVC, HVC, and Go-Kart championships. He's the design consultant for DCS MSME and is a master trainer of ZED. He pioneered introducing project-based learning for the students of engineering and developed innovative teaching and learning aids. His interest areas include supply chain, quality management, product retail, social innovation, industrial engineering, projects consultancies, patents, project-based learning, effective online education, training, innovation, and team leading. I would like to welcome Professor Dr. K Sharma on this platform. Over to Dr. Sharma.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Just let me know if I am audible, ma'am.
Yes, sir, absolutely audible and visible.
Okay, thank you. So, namaskar. This is Dr. Ashini Sharma, and I am privileged today to get this opportunity to interact with you all. And also, I would like to thank the management of the Elitte College of Engineering, along with Dr. Sudeep Basak, who is leading the school. And yes, I'm delighted to see one of my old friend, Dr. Agnimitra Vishwas here. So, whatever the things told by Mahua Madam, that is not true as such, because I think that still there are many things to be done. They are still pending from my side. So I'm not worth of that much. But yes, thank you, ma'am, for introduction. Okay, so let us try to understand what exactly is going on. So this conference is based on this developments and engineering education practices and what is going on in this field. Most of you might have by now understood that there is a sheer change which has happened with the education. We did not imagine that before 2020 that it will come, especially after before pandemic. It was, yes, companies were using because the cost of delivery was very high and people were not aware about it. But as you know that necessity is mother of invention, so we started using, and see, we did not get trained by anybody else, and we started working ourselves and understood, got ourselves trained, and we started delivering onto this kind of platform, whether it is Google Meet or Microsoft Team or maybe any other platform. So if we see these things coming, that what is actually going on into the market, I think this is a right kind of indication for the students where exactly they need to put in their rigor. Yeah. So let us just see what are the different things which has come into the market, whether it is artificial intelligence or one of the field is cyber security, which is actually gaining the market. Within 1 or 2 years, it is going to be it is already $1 billion industry, but it is going to get a huge boost into the system. Apart from this, almost all the companies are lined up with the vehicles which are not conventional vehicles. We have by now understood that electric vehicles are the future. So if you consider about that, are we really putting in our efforts into something which is coming as new, or we are working with the traditional technologies or the system? So this is what needs to be understood at this platform, where we need to think of future. So if we are not doing this coding and programming, especially for the students, I think we will be away from the masses. Masses means we will be away from the right kind of jobs, because every job by now is requiring this programming thing. Apart from this, they need the critical thinking kind of people, critical thinkers who can actually think and come up with the innovations. So all these things has started happening, and we know that. It was not existing before 2020, not that much. So what we need to do now, because it's a kind of chaotic situation where most of the people are actually in dilemma that what exactly to be done or what is to be left. So we need to see the trends into the market, get along with the data, just browse onto the net and find out what are those 10 different new technologies which are actually disruptive into the market. And accordingly, start seeing yourself into any of such endeavors. And this will give a clear insight that, because everybody has got their own aspiration. Somebody wants to go for the government job or private sector job, or somebody wants to go for the higher studies abroad, or maybe into the entrepreneurship field. But yes, as all these fields are changing, even if you talk about the government jobs, they are working on data. Everywhere it is the data which is what you can say, the new oil, you know that. So are we really taking care of that? Up to you. So there are free data sets which are available onto the web, and you can actually get yourself acquainted with that. Free softwares are available so that you can understand what is the power of data and what are the different visualization, different insights you can have from the free data, right? Now, coming on to the next part of it, 5G technology is being tested, and it is going to be very soon into the market. People will be needing the engineers for that. That's where we come into picture. So are we really thinking of the communication system from the 5G point of view, or we are still working on to the traditional system? Because if you see the advanced countries like South Korea or maybe USA or Australia, these countries have already started working, they have already implemented it. So if we want to be ahead into this kind of race, we need to do it. So coming on to the different platforms where you need to see the kind of things which are happening, 3D printing for that matter is one of the area where you can have your own startup. So this is going to be this is already a disruptive technology. The cost is somewhat higher, but for the students, the cost may be not more than 20,000 rupees. You can get the 3D printer. You can actually assemble the 3D printer at your home and you can start working on it. But yes, the industries, they are using the metal 3D printer where they are actually making the components of the different systems. And that's where the disruption comes. The traditional manufacturing will do away, and this kind of manufacturing will come into picture. So all these things which are happening in present scenario needs the students to put in the efforts into something like a area where you can see yourself for next 50 years or 40 years, because that will be the life cycle of maybe your job. So for that, I think most of you might have heard the word design thinking. This is one area where you can get into and start working, start putting or start applying this thing into your area of interest. This thing will give you immense benefit, means you will get the insight of your aspiration by design thinking. go for the workshop, go for something like literature for design thinking. It is easy to see, but it is very, very difficult to understand. So that's what I am saying. Please do some workshop on design thinking, whether if you are from civil engineering or computer science engineering, for that matter, in any of the field. You can have the insight about your aspirations through design thinking. Fine. So these are some advices which are from my side. One more interesting thing is that the students, they are, okay, 2020, before 2020, we used to go to the cinema hall, seeing the movies and enjoying it. But see, suddenly something has changed. The cinema halls or whatever has been replaced by the Netflix and Prime Video and so many other platforms. Suddenly it has come. So I'm telling about that only. You can have this thing in your mind, that the things are changing. If you are not doing, somebody else around the world, sitting in a corner in the world, might be doing, which you might be doing later on. And then you say, okay, I have missed the train. So please don't do that. Be with the present scenario, expose yourself, learn the things from different areas. It's like interdisciplinary approach where you are no more restricted for your own engineering. Yes, it happens to be the sense of belongingness that, yes, I am from the electronics and communication, so why should I go for the civil engineering? Because we need to do that because smart buildings, they need IoT, they need the electronic devices to be installed so that the facility management can be very proper. So these are few examples which needs to be in place, especially for the students. Next good thing which is happening in India is that there is a framework that is National Research Foundation, which is a big ambitious initiative by the government of India, where research is going to be revived, and they have put in around 50,000 crore for this initiative for next 5 years. So research is going to be a field where you can be enabled. If you are research-centered person, then you will be enabled by the government in whatever area or whatever endeavor you are putting in. This research needs to be understood by the students right at the early age, so that they can reap the benefit of it by the time they are established, and that is very important. So for all of you, I think you will enjoy that. It's Sony Live Rocket Boys. If you have not seen, this is a web series. So web series concept again is a new concept. So if you can have time for watching this web series, especially for the people who want to get into the research field, this is going to be the beautiful insight for all of you. So with this, I'm ending my speech. Thank you so much once again, and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Actually, I am really I'm really overwhelmed. You can say that whatever advices Dr. Sharma and Dr. Banerjee have given us for our improvement, that is really amazing. And once again, thank you so much, sir. I think the students have benefited a lot too from your speech. I think one student also raised his hand. I don't know whether mistakenly or he just really wanted to say something.
Yeah, if he can, yeah, please go ahead. If we can take this question.
Subhashish Khosh, you raised your hand. Do you want to say anything? I would request web host to please unmute Subhashish Khosh if he still is there.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. I want to say something about that. You have said that our next concept is it goes with the coding part and the programming part. Yes, sir. So in our mechanical section and our civil section, we have certain softwares like AutoCAD and for the designing of the buildings. And in our computer part, we have a coding like Python, Java, SQL for the next generation of programming. Sir, you have also said about the next gen part of our automobile section, which is the electric part. Sir, I want to say you something about the electric section. So it is nearly about too costly for improving in our Indian, as because we have the most of our homes having a economic condition with a next year of 5 to 6, and it's more or less it goes to 6 to 8 to 9 lakhs only. But electric section cars is implemented in our India is goes with a 15, 16, 17, and more and more. So does that our companies is going to help with the economic part of
Yeah,
raising?
I think I got your question. See, day by day, in electric vehicles, if you talk about the most of the cost is from the battery side. So day by day, this battery cost is going to be decreased, and they have said that by 2025, the conventional vehicles and electric vehicles will be of the same price, almost same price. Now, coming on to the part of improving in it, uh, why can't we think in a way that yes, ADAS is one area, automated driver assisting system, which can be taken up by the computer science engineering students, where they can develop some kind of automation into the car, which is already pre-existing because we are students. So we don't have to invent something. We can actually learn what is happening with the market. So electronics students can get into the electric vehicle companies. Likewise, mechanical engineering student, as you are saying, you can go for the SolidWorks or maybe the CATIA, or maybe if you want to go for free software, then it is Fusion 360, which you can work out, and we can understand how these things are being manufactured, so that when you are getting into the industry from day one, you are performing. Likewise, it is standard for the civil engineering that you need to look for a stat pro. But what if these softwares are not giving you a kind of output, especially with the research? Then you need
Yes,
to
sir.
go for
Yes,
your
sir.
own coding. Then you
Yes,
need to
sir.
go for your own coding. And for the coding, you don't have to learn too many of languages. Go for them. See, now these tools are available, like Python programming. If you can understand that, that is more than okay. You don't have to actually research in Python. You have to use this tool for your purpose. So
Yes, sir.
in this way, you can reduce the cost. Apart from this, I think the cost of electric vehicle is just nothing. You can experiment at your home. It
Yes,
will
sir.
be costing you around maybe 2,000 rupees, if I'm not wrong. So what
Yes,
you
sir.
need
Yes,
to
sir.
do,
Yes.
you need a small battery and then make the wheels and all these things. So just to make a permutation and combination and understand how it will behave at the time when it will climb the hill, maybe some kind of obstacle, how it is going to detect the obstacle in front of it, what kind of sensors are needed, and that's how you will be able to understand the entire technology behind the electric vehicles. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
if you want to go further, then you make a team of the students, maybe around 20 or so, and contribute some amount into the team, and start working on a real vehicle where you, as a single rider, can ride the vehicle, the battery operated one. It's very simple, and it will not cost you more than 2 lakhs of rupees. So once you are able to do this, your juniors will get inspired. You will get a good opportunity with the hands-on and placements into the companies where they are looking for the people like you.
Sir, I want to have a, solid point of light. That is, you have said about the unemployment section, as because you have, as we know that a few nearly about we moved towards 20 years ago, we have a certain huge amount of mill, that is jute mill, which has got replaced with a plastic section. Nearly about as we have present in a 2022, and we have seen the usage of from jute to plastic. This shipment has lost the most endless unemployment section in our country.
Yeah,
And as we know that previously we have a great condition towards the sea. Now it has moved towards the Python. So this moving from platform one platform to another has a certain losses of unemployment. And if we goes with a autocrate of like autopilot or something in a car, we does also seen an unemployment in the diverse section. And as
yeah,
we having a new generation of our delivering section has a gone with the drones, as we're moving from voice to drones, this has lost also some less of unemployment. How does
yeah.
this kind section of unemployment goes with a new section of employment?
Yeah, that's why Shubhayu, I think you have got it right. Your question is very pertinent, but I have already answered that. If we are looking for the future, we need to do it. So if I ask you a question, are you on Instagram? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. I'm also on Instagram. So why we are not using Facebook that much and Instagram so much? It is an example for the people who are from 18 to 22 band.
Yeah, yeah. As you guys, it's a kind of new shipment. It is from
Yes.
Facebook. As I would like to know that previously it was goes with a hike. Do
Yeah.
you know hike, sir?
Right.
Then it
Right.
is
Right.
goes with the WhatsApp trending section. So this is a shipment very big where we can move to little bit ahead, like from Facebook to Instagram, where it goes with the reels. Where
Yeah,
Facebook is
that's
just with
right.
the move on post and simply declare.
I understood your point completely. Now think of it: the people are using now less this Facebook, more onto the Instagram. So what do you think? The people in Facebook, they lost the job, and the people in Instagram, they got the job. This
Sir, it
happens with the
goes
new technology.
Sir, it goes with those who have capability of just getting over it. They can survive. Those who have a chances of getting survive into the market. Those who have just done with it that I will move towards the section they have done, and those who have thought no, I can't do it. I will not survive in that section. Like moving from C to Python, those who have a ability of getting that section that yes, I will do it and I will learn and then I will get the certain kind of section of that
Uh,
part.
I think this is the time you need to think on it. Means I have already deliberated on it. You need to see, all the students need to see that if this is how the things are changing, are we going to be relevant to the market or not? Relevancy comes through these technologies, what we have discussed right now. And yes, your questions are very right that what about the unemployment? The kind of employment which is being generated nowadays, it is no more relevant or traditional employment. It is you can say it is a new employment which has been created, and we need to get ready along with the kind of know-how to get those employments, right?
Okay, thank you, Shubhayu. I think you are satisfied with the answer. Okay. Uh, Thank you so much, sir. That so much patiently you have answered to one of our students. Thank you so much once
Thank
again.
you, ma'am. Thank you.
Next is the most awaited moment of this inaugural session, as I am going to welcome our chief guest, Professor Dr. Vishwajit Khosh. Dear listeners, it's my honor to introduce our chief guest in this assemblage. Dr. Ghosh is a Doctor of Engineering from Jadavpur University, Kolkata. He is PhD in Optoelectronic Materials and Devices in the year 1987, IBID and MSc in Physics in the year 1978 from IIT Kharagpur. He is involved in solar power research since 1978 and discovered electrokinetic effect in photovoltaic power plants for agrivoltaic applications in bringing energy and food security. He designed, developed, and implemented microgrid in 1984, designed MW level PV and gasifier-based power plants both India and abroad. He received many recognitions and contributions, like International Solar Energy Society identified him as one of the pioneer solar energy researcher of the world. He received Shiksha Ratna for it as the outstanding teacher in the year 2017 from Government of West Bengal. As far as his career is concerned, he was there as researcher in energy science and technology from 1978 to 1988. From 1988 to 2017, he was the reader and professor of energy science and technology. From 2018 till date, he is the professor and dean of engineering sciences and vice chancellor of Neotia University. I welcome Professor Dr. Vishwajit Khosh on this platform to add glory in this session and to develop the skill of excellence.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I
Thank
think
you
that,
so much, sir.
that today is a very good day that we are all, interacting in a virtual platform,
Yes, sir.
and there is a interaction of the students and also, that Dr. Sharma, Professor Banerjee and so many people that telling that how we are going to be advanced on the way. That if you look, we have a 3 axis, right? X, Y, Z, length, breadth, and height. And there is another axis called the time axis. And time axis is represented by ICT. I is equal to root of -1. C is the velocity of light and T is the time. If you multiply the velocity with time, you will get a dimension of the length. And this is the time is an imaginary length. Past is hazy, future is dark. You don't know what will happen in future. Present is light. So we are trying to remove the darkness of the future using the present day thought. Yesterday we have thought, so many aspects. Today we are thinking so many issues. Tomorrow what we thought, we don't know. We are, reached in a virtual age. We are controlled by the technology. We are not controlling the technology. If the net has gone, I completely collapsed. I cannot see you, I cannot listen to you, or you cannot listen to me also. So that when the technology is coming, that
I think sir got disconnected. Am I correct? Professor Tathagato Rai Chaudhuri or Professor Gautam Das, anyone is present?
things are, that we are controlled by the technology that I have mentioned. Recently, net has fallen. That I create the problem to me. Anyway, initially I was in the impression that I have go to the Elitte College and meet all of you in physical mode, but the situation has come that I have to come in a virtual mode and to see. I will not take much of your time. And what I want to see, when Dr. Hajra requested me that I have to deliver a keynote address, I was thinking what to tell. I like to tell you that future is very much uncertain that I have mentioned to you. So let us see what our students will face the problem. And one of the them is problem of sustainability, how we'll sustain ourselves. So I like to present that thing, and I will not take much of your time just to help you to get the idea, something like that. So let us think that I want to upload my PowerPoint, and I will stay, I will present one by one. Let us see. Upload the presentation. Let me see. Let me see how I can present it. That's the problem. As I mentioned to you that,
Sir, you can follow the way by which you are presenting. You can click that option.
Which option?
Click that option again. Sir, whatever you have pressed before that, before some minutes, I think.
Yeah.
The meeting option.
Yeah, that I'm entering.
Okay, sir. So just click once again.
Entering that, that thing.
Okay, and then click on the entire window.
Yes. Share.
Okay.
I'm going to share this thing.
Sir? Yes, exactly, sir. Yes, sir. Now, sir, do not click on stop presenting. You just minimize the Google Chrome. You just minimize your Google Chrome. Okay, sir. Yeah. Sir, Google Chrome, sir. Your Google Chrome, exactly. Yes, sir. And I think your presentations are in the PPT format. So click on that, sir. Your PPT.
Yeah. Thank you. Can you hear me or can you visible? It is
I may
visible.
not properly seen it. Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Yes, yes,
Is
sir.
it
Yes, yes,
Visible.
yes, sir. Now,
Visible.
now, sir, you can just make it slideshow. Like, yes, that's fine. Yes, sir. Sure. Yes, sir. Exactly visible. Sir, you can also click on the hide option, whatever is
It is
written in
visible?
the underflow, where it's written as a stop sharing or hide. Yes, sir. So you can click on the hide.
I'll be delighted to, tell you.
I think sir has some kind of internet issue in sir sides.
Sir, everything is absolutely okay. You can start your presentation.
Yes, sir. You can start, sir. No issue. Sir. You can start. Sir, are we audible?
Yes, sir has little technical issue. Okay,
think.
let's wait for a few more minutes.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yes.
Okay, you hear me, no?
Yes, sir, absolutely, absolutely. You please start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So your screen presentation is also stopped. Okay, ma'am. I think sir has some internet issue because sir has already left.
Oh, sir has already left. Okay, then we can do something. We can play the PPT on his behalf, and he can just give the presentation.
So if you have that PPT, then it's really nice because I don't have that yet.
Yes, yes. So let's see if sir can join first.
Okay, that's better.
Okay, I would request one of the web hosts please call sir once again, and then let's checking if we can arrange the PPT presentation on behalf of sir.
Okay, ma'am. Then I am calling him. Okay, sir, ma'am has, sir, sorry, ma'am, sir has told that if we can play his PPT on our side and so that he can join easily because he has a network problem in
Yes,
there.
we are trying. We are trying. If we can play the PPT on behalf of him.
Exactly. So he's joining as soon as possible.
Okay, I would request the organizing secretary, Abhijit sir, or Shantanu sir, please arrange the PPT for him.
Dr. Abhijit sir and
yes,
Shantanu sir, kindly arrange the PPT.
Yes, we have
so are you there?
PPT in storage.
I think they are mute in situations. Okay.
No, sir, don't mute, don't unmute them. It's not necessary. I think Abhijit sir Obhijit sir, you please send the PPT to Gautam sir, or you please post the PPT on our group. I think Gautam sir will play the PPT on behalf of
Yeah,
him.
that's better. That's better. That's better.
Or else, actually, Obhijit sir just informed that sir has not shared his PPT. So I would request Professor Raichaudhuri, you please call sir once again, and you please tell sir to mail the PPT to you, either to you or to Gautam sir,
Sir,
please.
are you there?
Tathagata sir.
One minute. Hello, sir. Yes.
He did not share any PPT.
Sir, what did he send?
He did not send any PPT to us.
Sir, he just called me and he told me that he already sent the PPT just now in the seminar Elite. That mail ID. Kindly.
Okay. He just sent it.
He just sent it. Kindly check it once. Okay, sir has already joined.
Yes, sir is okay. Sir is joined.
I have already sent the PowerPoint. So if you can.
Okay, sir. We are trying to access.
Yeah.
Okay, just 1 minute, kindly.
Yeah. Elite College. I know the mail that I have attached with the mail. I think you have.
Okay, sure, sir.
You get it. Elite seminar.
Yes, sir. Just 1 minute, sir. Just 1 minute.
I'm really sorry.
Oh, sir. No, sir. It's okay, sir. It's an internet issue. Everyone should have the issue.
Yeah, I told no. We are controlled by the
Okay.
technology. We are not controlled by the technology.
Sir, do you have the PPT on the mail ID?
Okay, I am not checking. Okay.
Okay, kindly check, sir.
The Elite seminar that where the mail has come to me.
The seminar Elite, right?
Today has a morning or yesterday morning has that.
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
I think this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, PPT is visible.
Yeah.
Sir, kindly.
Yeah. Okay. So you see it and you see it and I can also talk. I can see and I also talk. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you for the help. So can you go to the next slides? Next slides. Yes, I mentioned to you that tomorrow our generation is going to face the 4 major problems: that mobility, water, waste management, and energy. And energy is a central parameter to overcome this thing. Now, how it is related? You know that mobility, there are the road, there are the car. But how is the road? The car company is, making some financial mechanism to sell the car. But what about the road? What is the garage? What is the fuel? That's the problem. Today we are thinking for the electrical car. Tomorrow we have to think that, hydrogen becomes a, fuel for the vehicles. Hydrogen is coming in a very rapid way because there is a national mission of hydrogen. Water is another problem that you know better than me that every house is now in the aqua guard. You require a very clean drinkable water. Water is an essential component. Waste management, not only the that this physical waste but also the electronic waste is coming and they're putting the load. Energy is also another parameter that you have see is a central parameter. From mobility, you require energy. You can also generate the energy. Water, to purify the water, you require energy, and you can use the water to have your energy. Waste management, you require energy, and you can extract the energy from the waste also. So energy is an integral parameter of all these things. It's become a central parameter. Go to the next slide, please. The next slides. The next slides. Can I have this next slide? Yeah. The students, I have mentioned already to you that 2050 I will not be in this world, but you will be world. You will be in this world. And 2050, there will be 9 billion of the people of this world. 60% more food, 55% of the more water, and 80% of the more energy. So you see what is your requirement. You have to take preparation of all these things, and you have to take preparation which way you can tackle this problem. The next one. The next slide, please. Yes. So question of sustainability, how you sustain yourself. The sustainability has a 4 dimension. The dimension are the social dimension, the economic dimension, there is an environmental dimension, and there is an institutional dimension. Now, you know that the social dimension, society has to be accepted the way you are moving, whether you are doing right direction or wrong direction. If it is not acceptable to society, you cannot do it. Then economic dimension, whether it is economically viable or feasible or not. Then environmentally, it is acceptable or not, that I have to judge. And institution-wise, whether we can do it in an institutional way to develop the sustainability. That is the question. So these are all interrelated, and it's a complex nature for the sustainable development. Let us go to the next one. Please go to the next one. Yeah. We represented sustainability in terms of a mathematical model. You see, in our Mother Earth, we have three things: air, water, and our Mother Earth. Where you are getting the water, you are getting the fuel, or something like that. You have a man-made systems from the Mother Earth, which is called the ecology. You are taking the resource as R. And after you are processing the things, you are emitting the waste to the environment. Look, you are running your car. You require air, you require water, you require the fuel. That is coming from the environment. And after running your car, or during running the car, you are rejecting the waste. So W is going to the atmosphere. So amount of mass that you are taking your systems, R minus W. This is the output. And what is your input? Input is equal to your R. So if you can make a efficiency, R minus W by R into 100% equal to 1 minus W by R. And 1 minus W by R is known as a Carnot factor. And W by R, if greater than 1, there is a complete destruction. W by R is equal to 1 is a tendency towards the destruction. Or W by R is less than 1 is a tendency towards the sustainability. We have to see that waste should not burden us. The recent COVID situation, there is a problem with the waste, and people has discovered that the acidic ambients help the COVID to grow faster, right? So we have to see atmosphere should be made in such a fashion that it should be acceptable to the human being. Otherwise, we cannot sustain. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. Energy issue, if you look at the energy issue, energy is a technological, have a central role in socio-economic development in all scale. Energy is closely related with environmental pollution, degradation to economic development, and quality of living. We are dependent on the non-renewable fossil fuels, and that have been and will continue to the major cause of pollution and the climate change. Petroleum supply is de-wondering. Today, petroleum price, 116 rupees. Tomorrow, we don't know what price will go. Thus, finding for sustainable alternative is an urgent concern, right? You can see that where we're going. Next one. What are the challenges in your front? To develop the technology for integration, control of the renewable energy sources, control of the energy consumption and load management, to empower the energy user for a sustainable living, developing distributed generation system where energy user is also an energy producer. Suppose you are putting solar power in your rooftop, you are producing energy, you are the consumer of the energy. At the same time, the rooftop become a component of the building. You think that way. Next one. If you think that way, please go on. Because energy and human civilization, go to the back, that why we are not, thing. Early human freight into the Middle East of the Africa around 1 lakh or 1,50,000 years ago. Human species has come from Africa. These early sectors are replaced by the Neanderthals in the region of 80,000 years ago. Possible trigger of migration, increase in population, change in diet, acquisition is language, and the climate change. Around 40,000 years ago, there is a grips of the Iceland loosen, temperature become warmer, and human move to the Central Asia and multiple quickly. That human species, how they penetrate, because we are here, we know our history, where we have come, how we have developed yourself, how the revolution has come out. Go to the next one, please. Then 35,000 years, a small group of people left Central Asia for the Europe. Cold climate keep them there. They become paler, shorter than the African ancestors. 15,000 years ago, one clan, small clan of Arctic dwellers, followed by the reindeer herd, and bearing the straight land bridge to the North America, called the Red Indians. Sometimes in past, random mutations which can happen, trigger naturally and harmless, mark a new beginning. We have become Mongolian. The climate change have coaxed the human out of Africa and encouraged the Neanderthals already living there spread outward into the part of the Asia and eastern part of the Europe. But climate change, climate may reverse the table again. We are, giving out from the hot country to low country. But if the climate situation come in a reverse way, particularly, that ice loosen and other things, it may reverse the phenomena. We don't know. That's why I mentioned the future is very much uncertain and it's dark. Next one, please. You look at here in the map, we have mentioned that where the human species or Homo sapien has come out, it's come out from Africa and migrated in 3 ways: to the land, to the coastal areas, and to the ocean. We became a Mongolian because they intermixing, something like that. This is from African ancestor to, all countries, and, depending on the geographical situation, human appearance and other things has been changed. Next, please. So if you look at that climate issue, where we have survived ourselves, major mystery of the story of the human evolution, how climate affected the environment, where creatures that regularly walked upright, the hominid was first emerged, right? One widely accepted theory holds that after the ape, the hominid lineage split. And the earliest human ancestor was forced into the expanding tropical grassland of African, savanna after the, thick forest drowning due to the climate change. When the forest has come out, they have to move. Next one. Civilization has come out. We go to the next one, please. Next one. Civilization has come out, and past civilizations come out as Mesopotamia. It is in the area of the geographical located in the river of Tigris and Euphrates, largely corresponding to the Iraq and, Khuzestan region of the southern west of Iran. 8,000 BC, people of this area use wood and wood charcoal and oil as the source of their energy. Including Shamar, Akkadian, and Babylonian, Assyrian empire system has come out at that time. This is known as cradle of civilization. So the bank of Tigris and Euphrates become the cradle of civilization. Empire systems and other things that come out. Next one. Then, please now go to next one. Iron Age. Human is thinking how to use the natural resources. Neo-Assyrian Empire is a period for Mesopotamian history which begins in 934 BC and ended with 609 BC. About half a century later, the Babylonians and Assyrians both become, provinces of the Persian Empire and give way the, Emirate Empire. Empire system has come out, and that Iron Age, the seal of Cyprus of great 550 BC, seal of Cyprus come out from the iron. The technology is coming one by one. Go to the next one. Then, come to the Egypt and mystery of pyramid. Perhaps that pyramid has a biggest mystery. There is a lot of research how a body become mummy. There is no time, otherwise I can explain why it is happening. There's a lot of research has come out in mummy. In regard the pyramid. If you can put a piece of meat inside the pyramid, becoming mummy, but if you put it outside, it's rotten. And 5000 BC, Egyptian used to wood and wood charcoal for cooking and oil. Then after that thing, go to the next slide, please. We go to the Greece. Marble Age has come out, and empire, new idea, new civilization, new structure, entering of the civil engineering, how to make the building, how to develop a very good shelter. 750 BC to 146 BC, considering to the seminal culture which provide the foundation of the Western civilization. Roman civilizations come out at that time. Next one, please. Next one. Yeah, Greek culture has a power, and the Roman Empire has entered. They develop a new city called the Londonian. Now is London, the best city of the world. It's a Roman Empire has come out, and civilization, enhancing day by day. Go to next one. Then India. What is our contribution? The Indus Valley civilization, 3000 to 1500 BC, flourished with Indus Valley, primarily with Sindh province of the Pakistan, extending westwards to the Balochistan provinces and the northeastern Western India. What is our contribution? People knows, particularly, their wheel was invented in India. Please click this thing. You will find that, wheel was invented. Go to next one. Yeah. According to the archaeologist, wheel was probably invented around 80,000 From the wheel, we get, the conception for the zero. So Indian has a major contribution. Wheel has no beginning, no end. Zero. If you look at this thing, zero became an operator. Zero is not an integer. 0 and 1 become the two component of a modern computer, and the data science has generated from 0 and 1. This is the Indian contribution. Next one. Please go to the next one. Next slide, please. Then China. The China is one of the oldest, that continuous civilization extended to 5,000 years ago. Deep drilling for the gas technique developed in 1000 BC. The device that were used remarkably large and crafted at the time. Wheel was taken by the Chinese to carry the masses from one part to another. That the things. Next one, please. Please go to next one. Then Chinese building process dramatically spread up because of this usual invention. The wheelbarrow emerged by the 1st century BC. Single wheel and the carrier that has come out. This type of invention has come out from the China. Next one, please. Next. Then some facts of the fossil energy and its use. 450 BC, Herodotus described that pits near the Babylon. 325 BC, Alexander the Great used flaming the torch of the petroleum product to scare his enemies. Energy was used, fuel was used as weapons, because Alexander has used this thing. 1264, Marco Polo recorded his visiting to Persian city in Baku. In the source of Caspian Sea of the modern Azerbaijan, he saw that the oil being collected from the ships for the use of medicine and lighting. There is a wound, they put that oil, and the wound was, clear up, something like that. You see, that's so fuel became medicine, fuel was used to is lighting. 1814, one of the first oil produces oil which was marketed and drilled near the Marietta, Ohio. Next slide, please. Then 1895, invention of the combustion engine. 1896, Henry Ford's first motor car. 1908, oil discovered in Persia, Anglo-Persian Oil Company, formed as the British was there. They make it a British Petroleum, now British Petroleum, the big company. 1938, oil discovered in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. The problem of Kuwait. And this is my statement that 1939 to 1945, I analyze World War II, the control for the supply of oil from Baku and Middle East plays a huge role in controlling the war. Ultimately, victory of the Allies, because supply of oil was seized and it weakened the Japan economy. So Japan was bound to surrender due to the oil. So Japan economy was, given in a very bad condition, something like that. So they must have to. So oil was controlling the war also. Next one. You see the look that how the history has been, because we read history to learn from the mistakes. In 1951, Anglo-Iranian Oil Company was nationalized. 1954, Anglo-Persian Oil Company renamed as British Petroleum. 1979 to 1981, oil prices has moved from $13 to $34. 1986, Chernobyl nuclear power plant accident shows that the problem of the nuclear power. 1903, August 14, major electrical failure causes the blackout in New York state of state as Ontario, something like that. So you see the controlling thing, something like that. Please go to the next one. Next one, please. Next slide. And 1904 July, US oil import recorded 13.3 multi-million barrel per day, because there are the possibilities of the world war, something like that. Then 1904, George Bush re-elected as the president of US. 2004, October 25, oil price recorded something like that, $55.67 US per barrel, concerned about the highest demand for the possible supply disruption of Middle East and the damage of the Gulf Coast due to Hurricane Ivan, due to climatic change or due to natural threat. Oil price was going up. 2008, WTI, oil prices briefly touched to $100 per barrel, the first time driving the supply of the concern of the weak of US dollar. US dollar get fall because of the, oil prices get up. So it is oil price also control the economy. Next slide, please. Now, the question of survival oil economy. In the long run, the economy that utilizes the petroleum as a source of, because The amount of oil in the earth crust is finite, right? And I made it, red because the history of energy is used largely one substitution. In 19th century, the world primary energy was wood. Around 1890, wood was replaced by the coal. And coal remained the world's largest source of energy until 1960, it became replaced by the oil. No one can predict the future, that I mentioned to you at the beginning, but the world contains enough petroleum resources at least until the year of 2100. That we can do. But after that, you have to face the problem because oil will not be there. We have to think for, other thing like hydrogen is coming the rapid way. Next one, please go on. Next question. The oil, the role of the oil, how much oil we are importing, how much oil they're exporting. You look at here, United States, nearly 38% that they are total, dependent on the oil. Percentage of oil, this thing. China, they have produced the total oils, nearly 55%. India, we have nearly 25 to 26%. Japan is not producing a drop of the oil. They have to import it. They have to depend on the oil from other things, something like that. So they are thinking for the new type of oil where oil can be replaced. Next one. Next slide, please. Next slide. Energy sustainability. You see, at the 2000, the light from the drone or, from the upper atmosphere, from the satellite, they can see where the light is, how much light is coming. That's dependent upon the energy consumption. At midnight of 2007, you see how much light is coming out. And 2030, how much light is coming. Where the light is more, that's why these countries are, consuming much more energy. Next slide, please. Next slide. That's it. Now, when you are thinking that electricity consumption, it is increasing day by day. India, China, other things, they are increasing a lot of electricity. Other countries like OCIS countries or African countries, North America and Europe, they are also increasing the electricity demand. So electricity demand will increase. We have to think which source of electricity will come from solar or hydrogen or some other source. Next slide, please. Next slide. You see, when we are converting the electricity from conventional fossil fuel, we are emitting the carbon dioxide. So when you are consuming much more energy, you are emitting much more carbon. You are loading the atmosphere. We have to look at that thing. How to reduce the carbon? What is the carbon-free energy? That's another, issue today. And from you have to think where we can get the carbon-free energy, which sources, how to make this clean and safe source of energy. That you have to think. Right? Next one. You look at here, the carbon dioxide emission is increasing exponentially, and it is putting a load to the atmosphere, right? And we have to look at for that thing for the carbon-free energy. That we have to look. Next one, please. Oil, you see that oil, how much oil is coming, 2000 to 2028. There is a peak for the oil demand. After that, oil shortened. And that time, the people, the country, those who are making the business of oil, they will face a problem because business will be stopped. Next one, please. The emerging question. Age of the petroleum is coming to an end, and the future is dangerously insecure. Oil demand will shortly exceed the production capacity, and even the largest supplier. The world economy is moving towards a very uneasy transition. Open question is, when the peak oil user occurs, can the world renewable and the green energy sources able to continue the industries in the same fashion as it is present? This is the biggest question. Can we substitute the oil and we can run the industry like same fashion or not? Global warming is an engineering problem. It's not a moral crusade. Until we solve this problem, it's hypocrisy pretended we can stop. Next one, please. Next slide. So the question accepted, I'm giving you this thing, accepted age of the earth and the rest of the solar system is about 4.55 billion years. It took billion years to produce his world oil, gas, and the coal reserves. Recorded history, particularly, Homo sapien, human being 5,000 years old. We are the 5,000 year old. Our forefather, not more than 5,000 years old. For 5,000 years, we are using coal, wood charcoal, wind, and water power. Since industrial revolution, man is using the coal. Man is using the oil of 100 years ago. How long it would be last? Next slide, please. So if you can think that way, man is present in this earth, 5,000 by 4.4 billion is less than 0.001% of time here. With this small amount of time, we have used 5% of the energy, total energy exists in the earth. We are using 2% of the oil within 100 years. Man has populated of the earth and exhausted his resources. Man is using 67% of the global resources and emitted 75% of the polluting system. We are destroying our environment. We are committing suicide. The way we activity, we have to very much careful of these issues. Next one, please. Next slide. Yeah. Again, same slides coming. That if you can sustain ourselves by 2050, we have to address all these issues. Where the food will come, where the water will come, where the energy will come, because we have to feed these 9 billion people. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. So there is a three relationship between the water, energy, and that food. Emerging question: the food, what are required to supply food and security, energy security, and this three triangle can bring your sustainability. I'm telling you that the global demand in terms of the water withdrawal is increased by 55% by 2050. This is the world, it's a world report. Global energy, is increasing by 2030, 2.3% per annum. EU and US both are, water. There's a very much 30 to 40% water withdrawal. That food production and supply chain, 30% the total energy demand, they are using that energy for the food production itself also. Next one, please. Next slide. Then correlation: food need water and energy. Energy need water and fuel. Water needs energy. Waste need to recycle, extract the material for water and energy. We need to enhance the resources for the conservation of demand side as well as supply side to reduce the risk. That's the message. Go to next one. Next one, please. Water availability of India. Yeah, please. In 2015, you can see the per meter cube per person per year, 1840, 25, 400, 2050, 1130. Water consumption will have to reduce because of the problem for population. Water availability, fresh water in India, that's the problem. Until we recharge the water or we go for, that water recharging system, rainwater harvesting, we cannot sustain ourselves. Next one. Next one, please. Surface water in West Bengal. Look at our state. Fresh water, 0.682 million hectare. Ponds and tanks, 0.276 million hectare. Bills and oxbow lakes, 0.04 hectares. Reservoir, 0.016. We are reducing this thing day by day. Water resources is dwindling. Next one, please. Next slide. Then water pattern in India. Irrigation, 86%. Domestic, 3.1%. Industry, 3.9%. Thermal power, 0.27%. And miscellaneous, 7.9%. This is the Indian situation. Irrigation is 86%. We have to think how to reduce the irrigation energy, water consumption in irrigation system. That is coming from the agrivoltaic system, agriculture plus photovoltaic itself. Next one, please. Next slide. Care. You have what care you have to take in? Fresh water resources, fixed supply and growing demand. India has 18% of the global population, 2.4% of the Earth's landmass, and 4% of the water resources. Despite this, our annual per capita fresh water availability is 81800 cubic meter now compared to the 5,000 cubic meter per year during independence. Next one, please. Next slide. Yeah. Look at Rajasthan. Look at Rajasthan. Village ladies are walking mile after mile to have a bucket of water, to have a pot of water. 17 crore of people are deprived from the water of India. Currently, 60% of the urban and 40% of the rural population has access to the safe and drinking water. And water availability is 500 meter cube per head in Rajasthan. That's the problem for the desert areas. Next one, please. Next slide. So energy, water, and this thing. Energy production, water used in all steps, all thermal power energy in value chain, water storage by the hydropower, water used for the biofuels, primary production, agriculture, water is required, irrigation and rainfed, forestry and fisheries, industry and urbanization, domestic use, industrial use, wastewater treatment and tourism, environmental services like water quality management, biodiversity and conservation, food and the flood and drought protection and navigation. So these are the things in water, energy and integration. Right, next one, please. You see the water needed for the energy sectors. Which sector is needing less amount of water? You know, we can judge from this curve that solar power is taking less energy, less water, something like that, and emitting less carbon dioxide. Go next one is. Next slide, please. You see global trend for urbanization, because urban area is increasing day by day. Demand for the shelter, food, water, energy. Look at here in our particularly state, Calcutta, you see 14 millions today, 19 millions from 14 millions to 19 millions. There is an enhancement of 36%. In our country, Mumbai, 20 million. It will be, you know, that by 2050, it will be 27 millions, means plus 35%. Beijing, 16 to 23. You see, Tokyo, 37 to 39. Shanghai, you know, 20 to 28. You look at Dhaka, 15 to 23. There is a 53% thing that we are getting. Who is calling? Who is calling? Oh no, please speak later on, because I am in a lecture. Okay. So you see, there is a growth in Dhaka, 53%. Less growth in, I think that in Tokyo, 5%. And there are a growth, 25% to 30%, that, you know, the population is increasing day by day. And 15 mega cities that we have given the millions of people, and Sao Paulo from, you know, east side to west side, New Delhi, 23 to 33, Karachi, 14 to, you know, there is a 43% enhancement, something like that. So we have to take into account of all these aspects because of the rapid urbanization. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. You see rapid urbanization and loading of the natural resources. We have seen what are the loading is coming out one by one, you know, the urban lifestyle, food, water, and other things. Go to next one, please. Next one. So sustainable cities versus sustainable urbanization, right? We have several aspects. People is increasing, need energy. People are thinking where the source of energy, how to use the natural resources for the clean and safe energy sources. So sustainable cities and the sustainable urbanization, that's the question today. Go to next one, please. So if you make a city or an urban sector, there is a concrete structure, and the daytime, you see the concrete structure will absorb the solar radiation, and the night time they will emit the radiation. So temperature will be enhanced in the concrete areas from 85 degree Fahrenheit to 92 degree Fahrenheit, and ultimately it is going to 30 degree in rural areas. So you see the temperature is enhancing due to the rapid urbanization within the concrete structure. Next one, please. You see, when we are thinking for that thing, an island is developing called the heat islanding effect, and heat is trapped because, you know, the concrete structure taking the solar radiation, they are emitting the heat. At the same time, all the buildings are enriched with air condition, they are emitting the heat, and all the buildings are very closer due to the, you know, that issue of this thing. So as a result, heat islanding is coming out, and this heat is creating the biggest problem for our human health, even for the nutrition also, and immunity. Next slides, please. Is it a global warming? No. This is an, you know, separation phenomena, and where cities are 6 to 8 degrees warmer than the surrounding areas. Global warming never could increase the impact of the urban island held the cities in summer and month. Global warming is something different, but, you know, the urban heat island thing is completely different, and they are creating the much more problem along in conjunction with global warming. Next one. The factor what to promote the heat island? Concrete and man-made surfaces, less water, soil, and environment, excess energy from the buildings, because we are using concrete structure, we are using the air condition, we are using a lot of oils and creating the problem. Next slide, please. Philosophy behind heat island effect, you can see that sun is shining, temperature is increasing, temperature is going sideways, taking the evaporation, and, you know, temperature goes down due to evaporation, trans-evaporation. So we require water body, we require the, you know, that system. Otherwise, you know, that particular vegetation, other thing. Otherwise, we cannot reduce that, you know, heat island effect. Next one. You see that we are using the concrete structure, particularly the road, the turf fields, another thing. Reflection is a major cause. If there is a much reflection, we reduce the heat effect, but if there is a less reflection, heat will create the surrounding areas again. Next one, please. Impact of the black roof and the white roof. You can look at here. The black roof absorbs the heat, and you know that heat is going inside the inside floor. So heat is coming outward, heat is going to the atmosphere, heat is going inside the building. But white, you know, that roof, heat is emitting much more. So let's start thinking that the building structure has to be designed in such a way that we can much more go for the green building or the cool building to cool the city and to cool the planet. Next one, please. Causes for the urban heat island effect, modification of the land surface. Building material used to be stored in a short wavelength. Waste heat is generated by the habitant, and changing in energy balance between the building and the ecosystem. That we have to do. Next one, please. In rural areas, more open space. During the daytime, incoming solar radiation, reflection, you know, they are impact on the surface. Initiate the evaporation from the soil and the vegetation. Develop evaporation and cooling in rural areas. But urban areas, the problem, mega open space. We are very, you know, congested, less evaporation, high absorption of the short wavelength of the building material, heat pump for the air conditioning unit, radiation emitted from the concrete structure. So that are the problem for the urban areas. So urban heat island effect is coming, that thing, and we have to address this issue. Otherwise, you cannot sustain. Next one, please. Impact of the material on, you know, urban heat island effect. Urban heat island effect, you know, the direct relationship between the climate change and the emission of the greenhouse gases to initiate the global warming. Building block emit long wave radiation during the, you know, night time and related to the cold, you know, night sky. Building roof and road materials absorb both long wave and the short wave during the daytime rather than the reflect the soil surface and emitting the long wave during the night time. So we have to think what type of building material as well as the road material has to develop such that the urban heating can be absorbed there. Next one. Impact on local climate. Extra heat from the building surface can cause the extreme, you know, event on the climate and weather. It will welcome the storm, hurricane, and flood. Natural calamities can happen. Increase the precipitation, and the warmer of the air can hold the more water and the moisture. Every 1 degree Fahrenheit warmer atmosphere water vapor increased by 3 to 4%. Urban heat island effect can reduce 15%, resulting 50% more water content in the urban air. That's the real problem in urban areas. Go for next one. You see, look at here, how it is happening in the model. Here you are emitting, they are forming the cloud, and where the cloud is going. Where the cloud is going. Let us go to the next slide. You can see. Next slide. Yeah, you see here, the cloud is going, and they are shifting the cloud, pushing the cloud towards this thing, to Rajarhat. There is a lot of, you know, that emission will be there because there is a large concrete building. They push the air will move towards the Basirhat, and there will be rain. So Rajarhat will not get the rain. And the problem for the, you know, the water will happen in Rajarhat itself. So we have to think that way, how to control this thing. Next one. What will happen again? Emission from the man-made system. Solar radiation in between the 300 to 430 nanometer. There is emission from the human activities, oxidant, aldehyde, TANs, and O3. Dust and humidity, temperature, they generate the smog. And we are inhaling the smog, creating the cancer. Cancer is increasing day by day, creating the problem for sustainability. Next one. Urban heat island effect on energy and human being also. For every 1 degree increase in temperature, electricity demand is 5 to 10% more, enhancing the demand for the greenhouse gas emission. Impact of enhancing the heat wave in summer, enhancing the breathing problem. You see, the problem is coming, you know, that lung problem, other thing. Welcome the heat stroke, enhance the effect of ecosystem and climate conditions. Next slide. How to mitigate that thing? There is an answer, and you have to search for the answer. The answer is introduce the green roof and green wall. Introduce more city park to sustain the city. Cover the rooftop and the road surface with the reflecting materials to enhance the albedo. Roof and road integrated photovoltaic system for a possible solution for enhancing albedo. Tree plantation and preservation of the city areas. Next one. You see the roof gardening, it is coming. You have roof, it will, transmission will be there. They will absorb the heat islanding effect as also mitigate, the heat, that need for the climate. The roof green roof that we are thinking that cultivation will come on the roof itself, because population is increasing. We have to generate the food from the roof also, and at the same time to sustain the the environment. Next one, green wall, that is also coming in a new picture, new design, new system is coming this way, that we have to do this thing to protect ourselves and to protect the building also. Next, please, next one. You see, green roof versus a conventional roof, there is an infrared study. If there is a green roof, you see there is a black roof, and you can see there is a scale up 74 to 150 degrees centigrade. You see in the green roof, less heat. In the black roof, there's a more heat. So we have to think that way, how to reduce the urban heat islanding effect using the green roof. That's, it's an experimental phenomenon. I am not telling this thing, machine is telling. Next one. Building integrated photovoltaic. They can save the building, they can prove the green arrays, and they can bring the sustainabilities, because sun cannot be privatized. No one can privatize the sun. Next one. This is the Tesla's house. They are putting photovoltaic roof, and they are charging their own car. So energy from the building, energy from the transportation. Next one, please. This is the thing where city, we have to design the city this way. There is a water body, there is a trees, there is a good park, such that we can bring a good thing for a good city. Next one. Next slide, please. So sustainable living means a symbiosis phenomenon or symbiosis process between the man and the nature. We are emitting carbon dioxide. Trees are absorbing carbon dioxide. Trees are emitting oxygen. We are taking the oxygen. So we depend on the trees. Trees depends on us. So let us move that way such that we can stay side by side. Next slide, please. We are encouraging our future citizens, train them to develop their environment such that they can sustain themselves. Next one, please. I am coming to the end, not that thing. There's the integration between the water, food, and energy. Integration, perhaps those who are engineering students, that in mathematically integration, there is a elongated S with a fx into dx. What is its meaning? It's not a summation, but it's an interdependence. Function depends on the variable, variable depends on the function. Until you make an interdependency, you cannot make an integration. Students depend on the teacher, teacher depends on the students. If there is no interdependency, you cannot integrate yourself. You're deep in development of engineering, education, this thing will not be completed until you can develop interdependence yourself. What will be more? There is a knowledge service from the institution itself. You can make a water governance. You can think for the transboundary water management. You can think for the water and climate change. You can see for the water, food, and energy. You can see for the water, economics. You can see that, engineering services, applied research, advisory services, capacity building. You can think for the gender integrity, poverty, the human rights and democracy and environment, all are related with the knowledge streets. That's become, the pride motto for the deep, the development of engineering education, the processing, something like that, or profession. Next one. You see, the director principle is making, we are helping to dream. You are dreaming. Your future says you're dreaming, which way you can sustain yourself, your dream. And dream comes in true if you can make it fulfillment. Next one. Sustainability equation. There's a lady, this is a trapeze game. We are in a trapeze game. The lady represents the Mother Earth, and we are jumping. If you cannot keep Mother Earth in a good condition, she will unable to catch you. You cannot sustain yourself. This is a representation of sustainability. Next one. You see sustainability, solar power in Chernobyl. There's a nuclear accident, and the land was completely radioactive. Solar power absorbed radiation, and solar power helped the solar farm to develop Chernobyl, a greener one. Next one. It is a report from London. You see, tomorrow there will be an international grid. The grid will be made by solar. The grid is measured by hydrogen or something like that. The students, those are dreaming, they will participate on this international grid. You think, you dream that way, that you will provide it, the better life for the future citizen in 2050, where we will not be this world, but you will be world. Next one. Next thing. You see, I come to the conclusion with a symbol for the sunflower. Why it is this thing, I want to explain you. You know that condition of the mind represented by the color. When you are very deep thinking, blue color. When you are comfort, green. When you are smiling, yellow color. When you are angry, red color. You see in the signal, they first show the yellow, then red. You know, anger is danger. They are smiling and stop you in the signal that if you enter, you will be in danger. Sunflower is known as a sun seeker. They are moving towards the sun, you know, and sun is emitting all radiation from ultraviolet to infrared, and sunflower smilingly absorb all these things because our pedestal are, you know, yellow. And what they are doing, they are generating a kind of oil at their seed, which is known as sunflower oil, and sunflower oil help to have your good health. It is a cholesterol oil. Teachers are the sun, the students are the sunflower. You know, teachers are the sunflower, students are the sun. You know, students are emitting so many toxic things to the, you know, teachers. Teachers are absorbing everything, but still they are telling how your life become beautiful, how your life become very much acceptable to the society. If there is no sun, sunflower has no existence. If there is no audience, I have no need. So sun is sunflower, is integrated interdependence. Thank you. Thank you for my lecture. I think I have finished in my time.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Really, it's a wonderful session. I think the students and the participants, they will be agreed. This is really a wonderful session. The knowledge, the enthusiasm, really we felt it.
I'm sorry that I have taken time, but you know there's a problem for the, you know, technology, because we are controlled by the technology. We are not controlling the technology. That I
no,
mentioned.
sir, you are just absolutely in time. Okay. So students, do you have any question? Now the forum is open. You can ask the question. I think Subhashish Khosh and Mithun Mondal, they have raised their hands. Okay,
No
first
problem.
we are going.
Any question? Any question?
Hello,
ma'am.
Hello, sir. Hello,
yes,
sir.
Mithun. Yes, Mithun.
Hello, sir. You speak our future energy is wood and charcoal. That's type, electric types energy. But sir, why reason you do not say that hydrogen power?
No, I mentioned initially wood and wood charcoal was the energy, but tomorrow, you know, that Confucius has tell, like, you know, Chinese philosopher, that you cannot keep shadow on the three things: sun, moon, and the truth. Truth, water become a fuel. Water is a source of energy. If you can look at the definition of the water, to me, the drop of water containing the potential energy mgh, and if you allowed it to fall on a prime mover, convert it to kinetic energy. Water is the carrier of energy. You can dissociate the water, you can get the hydrogen. Hydrogen is the source of the energy. It's tomorrow's energy. They are projecting. Okay?
Yes. I think Subhashish Khosh also raised his hand.
Yeah. No problem. You ask me any question.
Sir, it's a very nice opportunity to have a nice lecture, listening a nice lecture in front of you. So I want to say something about sir, how you have made this PPT. It is just a compact one, and it just resembles on each and everything. And sir, I want to say you something. You are next to encyclopedia, sir.
No. What I have, when I was, requested by Dr. Hazra that I have to deliver a keynote address, I was thinking what to tell you, because you are the student, you are the future citizens of this world. How to convince you that what is your problem? How will tackle the problem by 2050? You know, that's why I make the PPT, that how the human civilizations come. What the problem? Why we read history? Because we read history to learn from the mistakes. That I mentioned in Japan, you know, that during the Second World War, Japan was forced to surrender because they have not in well clipped them everything. You know, that's the thing. War is not the good, no. If you look at the war, your history, if you look at Mahabharata, what is the outcome of the war? You know the war outcome. All the Pandavas has lost their son. All the Kauravas, ladies become widow. You know, Maharaj Krishna Maharaj got a curse from, you know, that mother of Duryodhana, that Jadu Vangsha will destroy it. And Gandhari, Kunti, and Dhritarashtra has gone to Dakun, then they're burned in Davana. This is the outcome of the war. So this is the war. War is destruction. We have to control ourselves to avoid the war.
Thank you, Shubhayu. It was really a very interesting question. Yes, sir. You are saying something.
No. If there is any other question, then I will be delighted to give the answer. I will satisfy the student or teacher, anyone. Anyone can ask me any question. I will not mind.
Okay, the students, do you have any more question or the question from any other participant? You may please raise your hand, or you may write in the chat box too. But sir,
hello.
Yes, Mithun. Yes.
Hello, sir. Sir, I want to say you something that when you are presenting India, that is about from 3000 BC towards, sir, I want to also represent that Egypt at 3000 BC. Sir, you have remembered about the Tutankhamun?
Yes, but archaeologists has given this data. I gave some archaeologists that India has come in picture in 3000 BC, and you know that India has given a conception of the zero. You know what is zero?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What is the zero? What is zero? What is zero? What is your perception on zero?
The zero is invented by Aryabhat, and zero is this time 0 and 1 is the binary number, and used in modern computer.
Mithun, listen.
Yes, sir.
How zero has come out? You look at
Aryabhat.
I am telling you the very example. If I ask you that what is the formula for a plus b whole square, you will tell me it is a square plus 2ab plus b square. But I will tell you, no, it is a square plus b square. I am correct or I am wrong? Tell me. You will tell, sir, you are wrong. But
sir, please repeat your please repeat your question, sir. Please.
I am telling you that if I ask you a plus b whole square, how much? You will tell me that, sir, it is a square plus 2ab plus b square, right? I will tell you that it is not possible to have a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square. I am wrong or not? Tell me.
No, sir, you are not wrong.
Yes.
I am not wrong.
Sir, because wrong, sir.
You are telling wrong, but I am telling you the difference between you and me that you have a 2ab term and I have no 2ab term. 2ab term is 0 to me, right? 2 cannot be 0.
Yes, sir. You are ethically correct. But sir, formula wise you are wrong, sir.
No. Let me explain you. Let me explain you that you know that if a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square means 2ab term 0 to me. 2 cannot be 0. A cannot be 0, then I will not get a square. B cannot be 0, then I will not get b square. Then why 2ab term 0? Suppose you are looking at the mirror. What you are seeing, your left hand become a right hand become a left hand. You approach towards the mirror and you set yourself in the mirror. You cannot see anything. Say A is an alkali, B is an acid. When you mix them, what we get? There is no property for acid and alkali. So what is happening? If A is a matrix, 0, 1 matrix, and B is a 1, 0 matrix, when you multiply the two matrix, it becomes a null matrix. And what is 0? Here the perception is coming. If you make A plus 0 is equal to A minus 0 is equal to A into 0 is equal to 0, A divided by 0 is equal to infinity, A to the power 0 is equal to 1. Whatever is 1, A plus 1 is increasing, A minus 1 is decreasing, A into 1 is equal to A divided by 1 is equal to A to the power 1 is equal to A. So what is the difference? 0 is an operator, A is an integer. 0 can destroy everything. 0 can make it infinite. 0 can make it fulfilled. That's why there is a Bengali term. Who is controlling? The mother is a 0. They are operating the family. That's why in a statement, in Bengali statement, Sangsar Sundar Hoy Ramonir Gune. Mothers can fulfill the family. Mothers can make the infinite family. Mother can complete the family. And husbands are adding the income to that thing, something like that. Everything can be represented by mathematics. One of the applications of the mathematics which we have used in computer, 0 and 1 term. You see, this is a presentation.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I think the students, you have got your answer, but I know that you have a lot of questions still left. Okay, so you may contact sir anytime. I have the mail ID, and I think you can contact sir if you have any more questions left with you. But I'm sorry, I cannot take any more questions today. And thank you, sir, once again for your really insightful and enlightening speech. And it was really a wonderful session.
Thank you,
So
thank you.
Yes,
thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. So we have now reached near the end of the inaugural session. I would now like to request Dr. Shantanu Datta, the Organizing Secretary, DEEP 2022, to propose the vote of thanks. Let me introduce Dr. Shantanu Datta in front of the audience. Dr. Shantanu Datta has vast experience in academia as well as in industry since 1996. After finishing his BTech, he had worked as GET in TIL Limited, Agarpara. He also worked as assistant manager in the Durgapur Projects Limited, as assistant manager in Siemens, as manager in BEML, and in academics too. He was designated as assistant professor in Sonoka Group and NSHM Durgapur. Dr. Datta was awarded PhD on thermal and fluid mechanics at NIT Durgapur and was selected twice as JRF and SRF in IIT Kharagpur, where he worked as research fellow in ocean engineering and naval architecture department. He has published 18 articles in different international journals and read 10 papers in international conference till date. Dr. Shantanu Datta is the Associate Professor in Elitte College of Engineering and Organizing Secretary of DEEP 2022. I would like to invite Dr. Datta to propose the vote of thanks.
I hope that everyone here is in good health and well-being in this ongoing pandemic. Have a good day. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose the vote of thanks for the inaugural ceremony on this special occasion of the Conference of Development of Engineering Education and Practice, DEEP Conference 2022. I would like to thank all the honorable delegates who graced us with their online presence. I am also very much thankful to all the stakeholders and the invited speakers. Words are not enough to thank for their constant guidance and support to shape the conference. First and foremost, I, on behalf of the organizing committee, convey regards and many thanks to our convener, Professor Mohada Datta, for our welcome address of the conference. I also want to convey my deepest regards to our chief patrons, Dr. Bajlul Haq, Director Academics, and Mr. Shajal Ghosh, Director Operations, for delivering a riveting and motivating speech for making this conference a grand success. They helped us and supported us in all possible manners to organize this major national level conference. I would also want to give my heartfelt support and thanks to our patron, Professor Dr. Sudeep Bosak, Principal Sir, without whose constant support and motivation, this conference would not have seen the light of the day. I would also wish to convey my regards and sincere thanks to our chairperson, Professor Dr. Krishna Hajra, for her supports in making the DEEP conference a huge success. Further, I, on behalf of the organizing committee, is also sincerely thankful to our chief guest, Professor Dr. Vishwajit Khosh, Vice Chancellor, Neotia University. Chief guest for his encouraging comments and outstanding conference keynote presentation on mitigation for sustainability of the mega cities. The topic of the presentations and the various aspects have been covered very useful, and it is very much relevant in the modern times. I also thank Professor Dr. Subhashish Banerjee, guest of honor, and Professor Dr. Ashini Sharma, guest of eminence, for their motivational speech, which radiated a source of energy within us. We will ever remain grateful to all the dignitaries herein for being kindly present with us in their busy schedule. My special thanks goes to all the session chairs and the judges as well for their kind consent in helping us in various stages of preparation of organizing this national level DEEP conference 2022. My sincere thanks also goes to Pinnacle Educational Trust and Elitte Institute of Engineering and Management for providing us the necessary financial and infrastructural supports, without which this conference would have never been organized. Today my words are not enough to express the gratitude to them. Last but not the least, I, on the behalf of the organizing committee, also express my sincere thanks to Yasin Academy Yuhan, China, for arranging the journal proceedings and 4D Publishing Group, Albany, USA, for the conference proceedings, for the cooperation which they have been rendering us, and they helped us in publishing the provided online proceedings very successfully. I also extend my sincere gratitude to all the moderators here, namely Professor Deeposhi Shaha, Professor Mohammad Hidatta, and the wave host, Professor Tathagata Roy Chaudhary, Professor Gautam Das, Dr. Avijit Chakraborty, and Mr. Git Viswas for their key role in organizing this mega program. Special thanks to Gitalika Sarkar for organizing the cultural program which will be delivered tomorrow evening. Please don't miss it. It is very much engrossing. Finally, I am very much thankful to all the members of the organizing committee and all our faculty members and staffs of our college who always stood by us and motivate us to do our best. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months in advance. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated committee and volunteers. I cannot thank everyone for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to take on the completion of the task beyond their comfort zones. Thanks to all of you for making this event a grand success. Have a wonderful day at the Elitte College of Engineering. Enjoy the conference. Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for this inaugural session. Hope you have all enjoyed the session as much as we have enjoyed presenting it. So we will again meet at 2 p.m. for the first technical session on engineering education with a keynote speech by Professor S.N. Basu. Till then, this is Mohammed Datta signing off with our web host, Professor Tathagata Rai Chaudhary and Gautam Das. Have a great day. Please come and join at 2 p.m. Thank you so much.